So namaste, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across the planet, around the world. My name is Greg Prescott from in5d.com, and today we're going to be talking about these amazing incoming energies that are coming in, and they will be here right on time. You'll see the perfect timing of this on January 12th to the 13th. This can be really exciting and informative. And while we're waiting for people to join us, I just want to remind people that you can get these shirts at in5d.com, actually in5d.net, though you can find links on in5d.com for this too. The cool thing about these shirts is when I make the dye, I put in the sand from the 99.9% quartz crystal sand from Siesta Key, put that in the dye bottle. Then I put this urea in there, which helps set the dye. It gives you a thicker kind of dye. Then I add the water, shake it up, put Ho'oponopono into it and positive thoughts and intentions. Bam, you got a shirt full of magic. So, and in Zoom, I just wanted to say a quick hi to Gary and Rob who have joined me here. And in YouTube, hi to Yoga Therapy, Kim, Beyond the Blush, Willow, PD, and Shy One. So greetings everyone that's joined in here. So are you guys, can everyone hear me okay? I know I had an issue one time. The lips were moving and nothing was.
I hear you.
All right, that's good. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Okay. So that's, yeah, I had that issue one time, and yeah, I want to make sure that before we go any further, we're okay here. So good. Good. And they're saying in YouTube that they can hear everything okay there too. Awesome. All right. So what we got going on, obviously there's a lunar eclipse coming up. It's actually a partial eclipse in Cancer, and the next one won't happen until June. You know, it's like every 6 months. And we also have what's going on, a stellium, which means there's 3 planets that are in the same house or sign. And to give you a better idea, let me show you. Hang on. Okay, so here we are. And what we're looking at is we have Earth right here. And today's date is the 9th. This is the way they do it on this particular website. We have the 9th day of January 2020. So we have Earth here and the sun here, Sol, Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn. But let's advance it a few days here, 10th, 11th, 12th. So right now we're looking at the lunar eclipse right here. Here's Luna, the moon, on the 11th and 12th. But while we're here on the 11th and 12th, look at this alignment that's going on. You have the moon, Earth, Sun, Mercury, and Saturn. Let's put this in a different view. If we go here to the geocentric view, you can see what I'm talking about when I was talking about the stellium. So 10th, 11th. There we go. Let's go like that. So 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So you see the moon is in Cancer, while we have down here in Capricorn, Mercury, Jupiter, and the sun, and Saturn. So you got this big party going on down here, and all these energies that are going on the day of the lunar eclipse. So what does that mean to us? Big changes are going to be happening. And what we'll notice is that, you know, those in your life who have not been putting in the efforts and have not really been holding up their end, no reciprocation, you're putting things out there, you're giving and nothing coming back, they're probably going to fade out of your life. And you wish them well, send them off with love, move forward though. You don't want things that are going to be dragging you down. You don't want to be putting that energy out there that's not being reciprocated, so you're better than that. You deserve more than that. There are things that you will want to change. Here, let me go back to there's things that you will want to change. Like, for example, you might be going through dietary changes. Myself, that's what I'm going through. Started juicing a few days ago. And what I've noticed so far, this is amazing. My blood pressure went down to 123/80. When I started, it was 162/97 the day I got my juicer. So it's dropped significantly. My blood sugar, I test that every day, anywhere between usually 110 to 120. That's been 97, so it's been under 100 since I started juicing. So dietary changes was huge for me. You might want to get into a health regime, especially this time of the year. After the holidays, I know a lot of us have probably overindulged during Christmas. I went to my parents' house and ate a bunch of things I probably shouldn't have eaten. Put on a little extra weight, but that I'm working on too. So since I started the juicing, I've lost 4 pounds, and I plan on losing a bunch more with this new diet that I'm doing. Now, it's mostly organic and it's mostly vegan, but it's not 100%. I'm still eating tuna. I might occasionally have some kind of beef or chicken, but for the most part, it's very healthy. One other health change that I did start was I got a treadmill. I found one on Craigslist for $50, and the guy delivered it. It was down in Englewood, so he delivered it for an extra $20. And it's got the whole thing, the automatic thing, and different speeds, and it tracks how far you've gone, how many miles, how fast you're going, yada yada, all that good stuff. So I got a really good deal on that, because I find that now that I'm not on the beach anymore. When I was on the beach, I would go to the beach every day, no matter what. I don't care if it was raining out, if it was really hot, humid, didn't matter. Went to the beach just about every day. Now that I'm not on the beach, I find I don't go to the beach as much anymore, and I'm not exercising as much. So I need to get my exercise. So I bought that treadmill, and it's cool because I'll put on like a YouTube video and just kind of get lost in it. One of these metaphysical videos, one of the channels that I subscribe to, and just get lost to one of these many videos, as other people probably do with my videos. You put them on at night and it triggers amazing dreams and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, let's go back to this screen share. Oh, you also might find that you have perhaps a new job or a new business that you want to get into this time of the year. Something that's coming up right now. There's some big changes that are going on, and this is going to carry us. That's pretty much the theme throughout the entire year, big changes. I was watching a video, and for those of you who are subscribed to my Patreon account for my mid-month energy report, I'll be including this plus the videos. But on my New Year's Eve video that I put out, I had predictions on there. One of the predictions I made was that there will be these changes that happen by the end of the year. What you know of this planet, where we're living, and the times we're living in will be unrecognizable. That was my exact words, or word, unrecognizable. So I was watching an interview with Allison Coe on YouTube with James Gilliland, and he was asking her through her clients what she might be seeing in the upcoming days, weeks, months, years. And the one thing she got from her clients, get this, same friggin' word, that it's going to be unrecognizable. So, you know, I did that video on New Year's Eve. That her video came out a few days after that, and it was just astonishing that that was the same connection that we both had, unrecognizable. So that's what we're looking at, is something on this planet that is going to happen that's going to make everything unrecognizable. So I want to show you this. This is on solarimg.com. And these are the solar winds. And right here, look at the date. And these are the projections. So this is 2020, the month and the day, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You can see this little yellow dot right here, that's Earth, okay? And you can see this coronal mass ejection coming out, bam. When? Look at the day. During the lunar eclipse. This is huge. So what I want to cover real quick here is what to expect. Now, this is from one of the articles I did on the high-pitched frequencies, when it was the high-pitched frequency of the solar plexus. And this is what the solar plexus will do to you, because this energy is coming from the sun. These are the energies that we're receiving. So the solar plexus naturally is associated with the sun and the element fire. It also has the mantra of I do, and governs the mental and emotional connections to the physical world. It's basically the mediator for your first two chakras, the root and the sacral chakra. So the root chakra governs your adrenal glands, the lower digestive system, elimination functions in your body. It also has the emotions of insecurity, aggressiveness, and anger. It's the fight or flight symptom in your reptilian brain, right? It's that thing that just triggers you instantly into rage. And if you want to think about what planet that would be associated with, you probably could take a wild guess and you would be correct. Anger, rage, turbulence, fighting, war. Who's the god of war? Aries, Mars. So yeah, that's the planet that is represented by the the root chakra. And then because it's the solar plexus is mediating between the root chakra and the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is your sexual organ. It's the reproductive and emotional part of your system, your lower three chakras. This is where we have like our fantasies come up throughout expression and creativity, and you know, it's that kind of uniqueness about you that makes you you in a crazy kind of way. So that is ruled by Venus, and that the mantra for that is I do, while I feel, while the mantra for the root chakra is I am. So what we have going on right now is this basically, you know, turbulence between your lower chakras. So there's going to be like almost dysfunction going on when you have all these energies going on. It's going to get crazy. It's going to be turbulent. Expect it. Ride it out. It's not going to be easy for a lot of people. Although many people, you know, if you can find the time to get out and ground, that's going to be your biggest friend, grounding right now. You might also, you know, consider, you know, cutting cords to those who are toxic, those who are perhaps don't have your highest or greatest good in mind, people or things or places that are holding you back in your life. And basically right now is the time for you to be your best you. And here's your opportunity. So when we have this lunar eclipse, what I want you guys to do, and it's a partial eclipse, but it still doesn't matter. What we're doing is we're going to be planting the seed It's going to carry us through until the next eclipse. So when this eclipse comes around, what I want you to do is just close your eyes and envision everything you want in your life. Make sure that you see it, that it's concrete and visible in your mind's eye, because you are planting that seed for the physical manifestation of everything that you want right now. And when you are done, be sure to give thanks and express gratitude. You know, I've got my posse, Creator, Source, Universe, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels, friends and family on both sides of the veil, galactic neighbors and friends, higher self, Mother Earth. Whatever your posse might be sure to include them in that as well. So, going to unmute everybody here in the chat room on Zoom. How is everyone doing here?
It's here at the corner of East Lake and Jackson Boulevards. Officials hope.
Okay. People are quiet here.
Hey, Greg, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Hey, it's Gary. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Gary?
Oh, man. Awesome. I am awesome. And I really, I mean, I'm really digging everything you say. I mean, it's exactly what I've been feeling. I got to let you know, I just basically, I had to get a toxic person out of my apartment, and she left a couple of days ago, and it's like the sun came out. And I've actually been able to get outside, which for me sometimes is a bit of an issue with my mobility problems. But I went ahead and I thought, you know what? I can afford to get a little power scooter right now that I can take apart with one hand and put in my car. I've been riding around my apartment complex. Last night, I went out and actually shot some baskets in this thing at our basketball court we have under the moonlight, which I thought was pretty awesome. I haven't been able to shoot baskets in like 10 years. So this was like, wow. And really, I mean, a lot of the things that I have been hearing from other sources, like some, you know, quantum physics sources, is that we're probably going to be in what's called a solar flash. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about, all this energy and everything coming from the sun. It's really blasting us. I mean, I really feel it. My moods have been up and down and all around, but I've made a big step toward, you know, getting my power back. I realized that the main thing I had to do was forgive myself for not being so discerning sometimes with the people I let into my life. I've had a pattern I've noticed. I try to help people, and you know, sometimes they take advantage of me because I do try to help everybody I see that needs help. And it's just really turned the focus of my life around 180 degrees. So thank you for everything you're doing, brother. And I'm going to be quiet now.
Oh, that's all. No, thank you for joining in. You know, I know a lot of people here are like me and are introverted, so it's
It's
not
hard,
easy to actually get up and speak in front of people for some people. But once you do it, it's a lot easier, and the more you do it, it gets easier each time.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and start the video so you can see that I am wearing one of your shirts again. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, that looks familiar. Yes. Galaxy.
I sleep in your shirts, and I tell you, oh, there you are. I had a great
Yep.
view of my ceiling fan.
Yep.
On my iPad again. But
yep.
I mean, I've just noticed that, yeah, I mean, I do wake up between 2 and 3 most mornings. And now when I do, I got a smile on my face as opposed to, oh my goodness, what's going to happen next, which was kind of like how I live my life my entire life. So
that's awesome.
Kill the video now, and
okay.
I just want to listen to what everybody else has to say. But
okay.
I agree with you totally. I think this year is going to be something that we're just not going to recognize ourselves and our planet at the end of it. And I'm really thinking that, you know, with all the world events going on and everything like now, I think that, like, you know, the truth is going to come out. And the, let's just say the dark forces that have been trying to keep mankind down forever are on the way out now, I think. And I think we're actually going to start getting together and doing what we're supposed to do, which is unconditionally love each other. And that's my story, and here I go.
I'm sticking to that story too. I think that's perfect. What a great message that is. Thank you for sharing that with us, Gary.
So welcome.
So if anyone else wants to join in, I'm going to unmute everyone in the chat room. Your mics are live.
Hello.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Greg. How are you guys?
Doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, awesome, awesome.
Hi, Sasa. We got a couple people here.
Cool. I have like 16 minutes and I have to eat dinner, but I wanted to be with you guys. So cool.
So we got a lot of energies coming in. I don't know if you caught the gist of the video, but there's this solar ejection, coronal mass ejection that came out and is scheduled to hit our planet right in time for the lunar eclipse. And while we have this stellium of planets all in this one particular house, so that it's going to get crazy. I guarantee it's going to get crazy. It's between the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. With all these energies coming in, it's not going to be just one particular day. It's a conglomeration building up to basically what's going to be happening.
Magma waves. I can so feel it. This and just a lot of emotion. And I'm like that other guy that I'm awake from like 8:30. This is unbelievable.
Yes. So I can't tell specifically what is going to happen outside of a ton of energy and a lot of purging, a lot of transmutation, a lot of turbulence. It's going to get hectic. For some people, it's not going to be pretty. But like I said, if you can find the time to get out there and ground somehow, some way, I'll probably be at the beach as many of those days as possible. Here in Florida, it's going to be beautiful out. It'll be the low 80s. So
I'm in Colorado. It was 62 yesterday. So yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You can get that sun. You just get out there and let it come on you.
Yes. That sounds great. So yeah, try to get out and get some grounding in when these energies are coming in.
Awesome.
So Sasa, are you with us?
Yes, I just have the kids running around, so I don't want to make too much noise.
Oh,
What would you suggest good tips for grounding?
For grounding?
Yes.
There is a great article on N5D, and what I'll do is I'll put a link in the more info section. It was written by a gentleman that I just interviewed, Matthew John, and I'm doing a search right now. Sounds like you have an active child in the background.
Sasha, your kids need to chillax.
But it's called, here it is. It's called 25 Ways to Get Grounded. Myself, for me, the best way to ground is going out and going to the beach. But I know some people, for example, will, take a nice grounding bath, putting crystals within their bath, putting perhaps selenite. I've used selenite in my bath, even though I know it will, slowly wear down into the bath, but you're also absorbing that as well. Some baking powder.
Okay, Greg, but wait, tell us about you had this one meditation thing where I use it all the time, where you have the white ball of light and you bring it above you and you bring it down into you and you say, okay, the white ball surrounds me and then it surrounds my bedroom and it surrounds my home and it surrounds my town. And that's what you want to do. You want all the peace of the white light to surround your area, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
We'll use that.
Oh, yeah, and what you can do is envision, for example, Mother Earth hugging the Earth, or yourself hugging Mother Earth yourself. Just giving Mother Earth as if you could cradle it within your arms and giving her that love yourself.
Making it the white ball of light. Yes, awesome. The bliss circle. Bliss circle. Yes. I do it.
Now, according to Matthew John, he'll say, spend time barefooted on the ground. That's hard for a lot of people to do this time of the year. Stay hydrated, eating grounding foods, which is a great idea, like root vegetables, anything that grows in the ground, potatoes, carrots, beets, those kind of things. Red fruits, something like the root chakra, red fruits, strawberries. Sunlight, get out in the sunlight, hug a tree.
Oh, I lost my connection.
Deep breathing. Create a grounding cord. Focus on your feet to ground where you're bringing that energy in. Get out in nature. Salt baths. Showers.
It's amazing that you just talked about hugging a tree, Greg, because that's kind of like how I ground, because I really can't take my shoes off my feet. I only have 1 foot and it's kind of messed up. And so for me to get out in nature, I actually get out and hug trees now. And I used to think tree huggers were like, okay, kind of out there, but now I understand it's what I need to do, you know, to get myself grounded and centered and ready for what's coming next, because I really think it's going to be, you know, amazing. So I'll go ahead and turn off the camera again.
That's
that just
okay.
blew
Jump
me
in
away when you
anytime.
mentioned hug a tree. It's like,
Yeah, that's what this is about. That's why I have this going on Zoom, is for everybody to interact and join in. It's not just me. I encourage it.
I'm kind of glad now. I'm kind of understanding how to do this. So I, you know, I'm learning, you know, it's not like it was, you know, 10 years ago when I was working full time with computers and, you know, just doing all kinds of stuff. Now I got to kind of just make it up as I go along, but it's working.
Well,
Hey,
Sasha,
Sasha, how you doing?
Yes.
you might want to consider, do you have any crystals or anything that you find
Yes.
yourself? Okay.
I've been
I
collecting
carry,
crystals.
Crystals for empaths that I ordered after I realized I was kind of an empath. And I have, I have these, I got one right here somewhere. Oh yeah. Organite pyramids, you know.
Ooh, those are nice.
And this one has a, I think it's a macabre inside it, and it actually is wired down into the, you know, the material. And I do have arthritis pains, and I got to tell you, if I put one of these like on my knee and I just kind of just watch television or whatever, 5 minutes go by and all of a sudden there's no pain. Now I can't say it worked for everybody. Maybe it works because I believe it's going to work, but you know, it works for me. I have like 5 of these all over my house because I want to, you know, let me get it up to the camera. I'm challenged again. But anyway, I mean, I believe that we're all being bombarded by all kinds of electromagnetic energy that maybe we don't need to be bombarded by. So
Definitely.
you know,
Exactly.
I've gotten to the point where I turn off my electronics and I just listen to music, or I do play guitar badly and make up songs every now and then. And I got to tell you, the inspiration, the muse has just been slamming me lately. It's like every time I stop and think about something, I hear a song in my head about it. And
Yeah, I had a song today. I had a song today for you guys. Put a little love in your heart. So Google it.
That's a good classic.
Well, I mean, you know, my favorite is one of the Beatles, and I figure John Lennon was a very, very enlightened person. And of course, he told us that all you need is love. Love is all you need.
Yeah. John Lennon saw a UFO, so he's on board.
Yes.
It's amazing how many creative, like rock and roll type people and artists will now come out and say, oh yeah, by the way, you know, I did have that kind of experience. And by the way, myself, I have had that kind of experience. I've seen lights in the sky that I could not explain scientifically because they were moving too fast and in too erratic a pattern, you know. And,
sometimes those lights
I
in
had
the
an
sky
experience too.
I mean, look at the video the Navy released, where basically the U.S. government is saying, "Oh yes, these are UFOs. We don't know where they're from, but they're here, and we don't know what they're doing, but they're here."
Yeah. Well, go, Sarah. What's your
what was your experience, Sarah?
Oh, I had an experience when I was a teenager. I was parked somewhere and I was having a conversation with my boyfriend at the time. And I pick up vibrations. Like, I've just come to realize that I have empathic qualities, and I've been on a spiritual journey and the awakening process for a couple of years now, collecting crystals and things like that. So we had an unidentified flying object above our head, and I heard it come through the radio. And then we looked up and we followed it, and then it came out I live down in Miami. So he reported it to MUFON back then. I would say this was like 1993, 1994. So I put it into the MUFON files, and we followed it for some time, and it was hovering a couple of feet above the light and the street light, and then we lost it amongst the tree line. But it was watching us over the car. It was like really impressionable. They came out in the news and said it was a weather balloon, but we seem to think differently,
Yeah.
But
Yeah. They're
pretty
with us.
interesting.
They're here now. They've been watching us forever. They've been here forever, I think.
Yes, I agree.
I really do.
So Sasa, I talked to James Gilliland, and he said, when you see something unusual like that, you just go out and ask it, hey, who are you and why are you here? So sometimes you will get an answer if you do that. So
I'll definitely try that. I mean, I haven't seen anything else in a long time, but I know there's things out there, so I'm sure they're watching us.
Well, I mean, myself, I mean, I've noticed my entire life. I mean, my friends, my people who used to be my friends, they're not really in my life anymore. But when I was growing up, I mean, in my young 17, 18, 19, 20s, whenever I would go driving on the interstate at night, it was phenomenal that at least once, just as I was passing under a street lamp, it would go out. Now, I never figured out what I was doing or thinking that made that happen, but like my ex-wife told me, yeah, right, sure. And then she went driving with me one night, and it just happened to happen that night about 5 times. And
I'm like that too. I'm like that too.
when we got out of the car, she kind of, okay, yeah, never mentioned it again. But that kind of energetic stuff has been happening.
There's probably 2 million high energy beings on this planet. And so if you are one of the 2 million, you will know.
Oh, I know, because I cannot wear a watch, any kind of watch, digital or mechanical. It will stop.
Right.
So
I don't want to wear a watch.
Right?
Yeah.
Who wants to decide the time?
I don't know watches.
I don't want to know what time it is.
Time doesn't matter. That's right, Greg.
Screw Kronos.
Not matter.
Saturn.
You are awesome. Thank you for doing this.
Yes,
I mean,
I appreciate
we all
it.
get together now and we start really focusing on what we think needs to happen is that, we don't want the bad guys to win. We want the good side, the love side to win. And if we just focus on that, we all get together. I really think, we're going to change this planet real soon, like this year. I really think
it's going to be really interesting to see what happens, especially for people like Gary. And myself, because I've had the similar kind of situations where electronics just go crazy during certain points and periods, and depending on the energies. So when we have all these energies coming in the next few days, along with the stellium, all these planets being rounded up in this one house, and the lunar eclipse, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with all these energies and how they interact. And it is possible. There's that possibility. There might be a grid shutdown on top of it. Who knows?
Well, that's good. We'll actually communicate with each other like we're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm just so glad that we have this, this platform and this forum, because I mean, like I'm sitting in my apartment in Hoover, Alabama, and I'm talking to Greg in Florida and Sasha in Colorado and people from all over the world, And
I'm in Colorado too. Hi, Sasha. I didn't know you were in Colorado.
No, I'm actually in Miami, in Florida with Greg.
So I'm in Colorado.
Yes. I want to say thank you. I want to thank you, Greg, because I reached out to you after you had your health scare. I personally, I have my nickname on my phone, but my name's different on my Facebook account. And I read all your articles, and like lately I've been reading the articles and writing down the things that I read so I can go back. Like yesterday, I had read an article you wrote a couple of days ago, or put a couple of days ago, about like codes, like certain music had certain codes. So I started researching that yesterday. I really got into the light body activation, like going online. Like I really got into it yesterday. I found some other website that was like an accession glossary that it hadn't been updated in a while, but it had so many more terms. And
That's Lisa Renee's website, right?
Yes. So I just kept clicking and clicking. I was on for like 3 hours just reading. And I just want to say thank you so much for providing us this platform and letting all of us, communicate with one
Oh,
another
yeah,
and
thank you, Greg.
learn.
I love it. No, thank you for joining me and being part of this. This is what family's about,
Thank you.
bringing
Yes,
bringing
yes.
Star Family together. That's what we're doing.
Awesome. Yes.
Thank
We have
you.
to stick together.
Yeah. So it's important that people hear your voices. I put a link in the YouTube chat room for people to join us here on Zoom. Don't be so shy. We got, all of us here are introverts. I can pretty much
Yes.
speak for all of us. We're all introverts.
That's
It's not
right.
easy for us to do, but once you get on there, just look at us. It's like old friends connecting with one another once again.
Yes. Family.
I would have to say though, when I was younger, I was much more extroverted, but now that I'm becoming older, I'm becoming much more introverted. Like I've done a 360.
Yeah. Yeah. We tend to look within for the answers instead of asking everybody else or worried about what everyone else thinks. Yeah. I've written a bunch of articles on introverts.
That's the route I'm going. I would say
I love
I've
you
been
guys.
on-
I have to go. I will be back next time. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Thank you
It
for
was
joining
great
us,
talking
Mary.
to you, Mary.
Love you guys.
Bye. Love you too.
Bye.
I would have to say I started the spiritual journey like 7 years ago, and I came upon your website, and that is where I got most of my information. So I hadn't been on it a while now, like a couple months ago, but now I'm getting back into going back and reading the articles. I know Facebook doesn't always pop up all the articles, so I do go straight to the website, and you just provide so much information and so much enlightenment. It's awesome.
A lot of times it's what people need to see that particular day because there's something that is going on in their life that relates specifically to them. It's just crazy. Sometimes I'll do reposts and I got a bunch of reposts set aside, but I don't always post them because I got to feel when the time is right for them, when somebody really needs it the most. And when that happens, that's when I put them out.
One of these days, I'm going to make it to Siesta Key to do one of the beach meditations that you do. One of these days, I'll make it out there.
Walk of gratitude. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Sounds cool.
Well, I mean, like tonight, Greg, I was actually trying to order a pizza. And I kept trying to order a pizza on an app that I've used hundreds of times, and it just wouldn't work. And all of a sudden, the Facebook message popped up from you that this was going to be happening. And I mean, I found out about it like 3 minutes before it started. And here I am. This is obviously where I'm supposed to be right now. And I go with the flow now,
I guess pizza wasn't in your highest and greatest good.
That's true. That's true. Because now I'm thinking about, I need some rice and beans tonight. That sounds really good,
I just bought a pizza that it's got a cauliflower crust and it's supposed to be organic and everything. I haven't tried it yet, and I'm not crazy about cauliflower, but I thought I would give it a chance. It's about changing things, and I've been shaking things up in my diet, trying to eat healthier.
Yeah, I mean, I'm drinking nothing, but mainly I'm drinking bottled spring water because of course they here in Birmingham and Alabama they have fluoride in the water, and that a lot of people think that's on purpose to kind of keep them at what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to prevent your third eye from opening.
Right.
And I think in my case that's probably the case because I mean I drank this stuff all my life growing up, and then now the thought of drinking tap water basically makes me ill, and it's like, that's such a huge transformation in just like the last 6 months for me. So
that's awesome.
I don't care even rinsing my mouth out after I brush my teeth with tap water. It's just because you're still absorbing that crap. What I do is I have a colloidal silver that I rinse my mouth out with. I'll spit that out, and then I'll take another gulp of it and just rinse it around my mouth and let it absorb through my gums and swallow the next gulp. So,
well, I mean, I actually rinse my mouth out with bottled spring water because, like I say, I just cannot tolerate tap water anymore, and it's what I grew up on. And wow, what a change! And I think it's had a real positive impact on me, because I got to tell you, sometimes when I close my eyes, I can sense the room, and I'm able to like pass my hand in front of my face, and I can notice that. I think my third eye is actually starting to open up now. And of course, I do a lot of meditation about it. I listen to a lot of guided meditations, and one thing I've always had is a real strong intuition somehow. I mean, I was just thinking today, when I was a teenager, I was riding around one summer with some friends, and I had my arm hanging out the rear passenger window, and I was tapping along with the music that was playing, because I've always really been into music. And for some reason, I just pulled my arm into the car, and I mean, within 3 seconds, another car hit the door right where my arm was hanging.
Wow.
So my guardian angel that day tapped me on the shoulder and said, let's do, because I mean, if that had happened, if I had lost a limb way back then, my entire life would have been totally different from what it turned out to be. And I'm just thankful that, you know, I've always had somebody looking out for me, and I'm grateful. I'm so grateful.
I have to agree with you on that one. Same thing. I've always been intuitive. I thought I was a sensitive person, but as I'm coming to become familiarized with what it is, I think I'm more empathic than coming from a Hispanic background. Latinos are very insensitive. They're not like very empathetic people. They're like, you fall down, you get hurt, I'm gonna hit you, growing up that kind of, I guess, conditioning. So one thing I noticed when I was younger, I was able to dream things, and it's been a very long time that I've been blocked. So I've been trying to find ways to unblock. I know meditation is something that I should incorporate. I have 3 children, 3 boys, 2 small children, they're 3 and 4, and then a teenager. So there's never any, there's never any kind of rest. Busy, no rest, no relaxation. So I went out and bought a little meditation kit that has a book and some cards. I looked at it. I just haven't had a chance to apply it. I have my yoga mat. I bought a yoga video. I'm hoping to try to incorporate that. I've had some health issues, digestive issues. So I feel in a way like my body is telling me, you need to eat cleaner, you need to eat better. Like, you can't keep eating what we were told was good to eat. Like, you can't eat that stuff anymore. So I think
I agree.
body...
I mean, it's totally awesome. I don't know of another way to say it. It's just that, listen to your body, listen to yourself. And if you listen, quiet your mind, like Ram Dass says, the quieter you become, the more you can hear. And what he spelled it was HERE. In other words, the quieter your mind becomes, the more you're present in the now.
Right.
And that's where our life happens. It happens minute to minute now. It doesn't happen in the past, and it doesn't happen in the future. Although I do believe that, multidimensional aspects of us are real. And, of course, now quantum physics is saying, yeah, you know what? That's true. There are multi-dimensions out there. They just are now discovering that. And it's something that, Buddha came up with millennia ago. So.
Absolutely. So do you have any suggestions?
I'm going to back out just a little bit, because unfortunately it's time for me to take a restroom break. So I'll be back shortly.
Okay.
All right.
Too much information. I know.
Is there any suggestions that you can give, like, to try to help? Like, I do have crystals. I've been wearing for probably the last 6 months, different bracelets. I have a bunch of different bracelets. My friend just sent me one. It looks like it's a chakra type of bracelet. My favorite bracelet that I purchased, I've actually went to Casadega. Have you heard of Casadega?
Yes, I have.
Yes, I've been there twice. This last year I went when I had one of my empathic friends visit me. We met on social media, and she came and visited me for a few days. So we drove up to Casadega, and then I took my son for his 15th birthday because I wanted him to experience it. And I bought a Howlett bracelet. I have a solidite, adamantine, I think it is. I might be saying some of them wrong. My friend sent me one that it looks like it's a chakra bracelet because it has tiger's eye, citron, amethyst, red jasper, black tourmaline. Also have a black tourmaline bracelet. I just bought a white moonstone bracelet. I have a box full of crystals. I've been collecting them. It's been close to a year, but I haven't started using them yet.
When you buy a crystal, is there a certain one that you're attracted to, or is there a certain, like, you know, so like myself, I love opals. I'm a Libra, so obviously opal is my birthstone. And I've got a ton of opals, but I also have other things that I'm attracted to. Are there certain specific ones that you're attracted to?
I've been trying to collect every type wherever I go that I can find. So what I do is I place my finger over it and I can feel like an electric shock most of the time. There's been a few that I've picked without that, but I've had some that I just try to feel it to see what resonates with me. I haven't properly cleaned them, so they're sitting in a box. So I have a lot of work to do, you know. So I'm definitely gonna work on incorporating those things to see.
Oh yeah.
Cleaning them so I can get the full benefits of them.
There's an article on M5D. Now that I got my crystals, what do I do? And there's a bunch of great ideas on how to energize them, you know, how to properly lay them out in the moonlight to recharge them and everything. So I recommend that. And for people that are watching this on the recorded version, I'll leave a link below in the more info section.
Awesome. I'll definitely go check that out.
Yeah.
Any other things that you'd like to talk about? Any other topics that you can think of? I mean, there's so many.
I can talk about anything, but what would you like to talk about?
You know, now I'm going into my 40s. So now is like when you start to like decide, okay, I need to calm down. I need to start taking care of my health better, like really take care of my health. Like my mind and my serenity is important. Although I have all this chaos around me all the time, I want to find that peace, that balance, because if I don't do it now, I feel later on it's going to affect me.
That's exactly what these energies right now are bringing in. They're bringing in that change. And now is the most opportune time. If you're going to make those changes, do it right now. Because you're basically planting the seed for the next 6 months until the next solar eclipse to either reaffirm what you've already planted or to take further what you want to do from that point forward. So now's the time. As I mentioned earlier, when during that lunar eclipse, close your eyes and envision those changes that you want to see within yourself. And don't be afraid to take that further out to humanity, the whole planet, the Earth, the galaxy, the universe. You know, what kind of changes do you want to see? Make it as magnanimous as you can.
I definitely will. And the lunar eclipse is gonna be exactly when?
I think it kind of crosses over between, what is it, the 11th, the 12th? I'm not sure, the 11th, 12th, 13th. If we're looking, hang on a sec, let's go into this share screen. And you'll see, it basically depends on where you are located. So here we go back to the 7th. This is the day right here, the 7th. Whoops, jumped ahead there. 9th. As you can see, all right, on the 10th, you're getting some of the eclipse going on. The 11th, you'll probably have the majority of the eclipse going on that day. You'll probably have another partial eclipse going on the 12th, and maybe even some on the 13th as well. So, and in this whole time, what we're looking at is this party that's going on down here between Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn.
Also, here in Alabama, and actually across a lot of the country, this weekend is predicted to be very, very cloudy, rainy, stormy, and you know, I'm not actually going to be able probably to see the eclipse, but I can tell you I'm going to feel it, and I'm still going to do what I can do to like get my crystals recharged and get myself recharged. And you know, I think now the word is dream big, you know, I mean, go for it. Now's our time. You know, like I have been basically muting myself most of my life because I did not believe what was popular to believe for a lot of people. I've been into spirituality and paranormal and UFOs and stuff since I was
Me
like 8 or
too.
9 years old.
Me too.
And I
They
mean,
always thought I was weird.
yeah, well, that's probably why we're here tonight. You know, I mean, I'm meant to be here. I know that. You know, that's just you have the knowing. You know, and when you finally trust your gut and your instincts and your heart, you know when something is, you know, happening, and you know what you need to do. And you know, maybe it might be the bad guys throwing seed in the clouds or something that's trying to prevent a lot of people in our country from feeling and understanding what's going on. But I don't really think it's going to matter anymore, because I really think that all the negativity out there is just going to come crashing down. Now, of course, for me, that's also a little bit concerning, because as a, you know, retired disabled person, I depend totally on the government for my income. But the last couple of days, I've been talking with one of my old college buddies, and we've come up with, we think, a pretty cool, you know, business idea that will help a lot of people. You know, I'm not really into it to make a lot of money. I just want to help people and be happy, you know, and that's kind of like why I'm here now, you know.
Now that you're mentioning that, like as I was telling Greg a little while when you went to your restroom intermission, that I was now in my 40s, you know, I'll be 42 this year, and now I'm searching for that inner peace, and I'm at a crossroad where I feel like I'm not helping humanity in what I'm doing. Like I need to go and do something else that I can definitely help the masses, because I work in insurance and for the university here, and I do billing. I've been doing it for 12 years, and I just got promoted a year ago to supervisor. So, you know, it's a lot of responsibilities. And I mean, I have a really good team that I work with, but I'm not helping people by billing their insurances. The university does many wonderful health things, but me personally, I'm not satisfied at what I'm doing. So I think in the future, I'd like to definitely go into speaking and, you know, help people that way, because I do talk to people, and, you know, a lot of people come to me, and it's been like that since I was a child. Like I'm a child and I'm giving adults advice.
Maybe that's one of the things you want to put out there when you're putting those intentions out during the lunar eclipse, you know, envisioning, you know, what your possible career would be, doing whatever kind of speaking endeavors you want to do, you know, and put it out there. I think that's, and as I mentioned too, that's one of the things. This is all about change. These energies and everything that's going on right now, big changes are coming. If you're going to make a change, now's the time to do it. Yeah, do it now.
I mean, I do consult a couple of, like I said, I actually have some tarot decks on my iPhone, and I believe the electronic tarot is just as accurate as the physical, because I keep getting the same 5 or 6 or 7 cards, and I've been doing daily readings now for 2 months. And if that's not the universe telling me, and the main thing it tells me is now's your time. Don't be quiet, speak your truth. Because I think just doing that, you're going to help people. You're going to wake people up. You're going to make them think, you know. And that's the thing is we're bombarded with so much what I call bread and circuses, you know, entertainment media, movies, music, television news, and it's all the same stories, you know. I mean, and one of my former careers, I was a TV broadcaster, and, you know, the mantra in the newsroom was, if it bleeds, it leads. You know, if anybody gets hurt, you'll hear about it. But if somebody saves like a box full of puppies or saves a child from being run over, you'll never hear about it, you know, because they want us to think that the world is such a dark and dangerous place. And the thing is, maybe it is because we help make it that way, you know, by the way we act and the way we think. And another thing I have been doing lately is getting into some really esoteric stuff on Gaia TV, Gaia channel. You know, I subscribe to that. There's a Dr. Bullard who does something now called, I think it's Wisdom Teachings, and where she kind of tries to meld together things like, you know, the Kabbalah and things like that with what's going on in the world. And basically once, you know, you kind of come to the understanding that basically everything is mental. It all starts in the mind. It all starts in the consciousness. And I mean, you know, everything that exists today in this world was once a dream, was once an imagination, you know? Somebody thought way back when, oh, what if we had a machine that drove our buggies instead of horses, and we didn't have to feed it hay, and we didn't have to keep horses? That's where cars came from, you know? That's what liberated a lot of people in this country from being stuck in one place, you know? And I mean, I look back on my life. I lived in Colorado for 2.5 years when I was in the Army. I was at Fort Carson. Loved every minute of it. Used to get in my car and drive up the Gold Camp Road to Cripple Creek and just pan for gold on the way. Never made a fortune, but it was so much fun. And I'm still drawn to Colorado. I want to go back to Colorado, not to live, but just to feel the energies there. Get up on top of Pikes Peak and just open yourself up, and wow, you can just feel an amazing energy there. So
Something I want to put out there too, especially for what's going on this time of the year with all these energies coming in. If you haven't done so yet, try surrendering to the universe, surrender to whatever it is that is your highest and greatest source. You know, whatever you want to call it, God, creator, source, whatever it is, surrender, fall back, and know that when you're falling back, that higher source will catch you every time. And sometimes it might not seem like it, but in retrospect, I guarantee within a few months later, you'll say, yeah, they were always there for me, or that entity, that being, whatever.
That is so true. So true. I was always mission oriented, you know. All I ever wanted to be was a soldier. That was my dream job when I was a kid. I mean, that my folks have a picture of me when I was 5 years old. My dad was a full-time National Guard officer, and he bought me a little set of fatigues and a helmet and a swagger stick, and I'm saluting like a British colonel with a big grin on my face wearing this uniform. And you know, when I was in high school, I was very, very, very heavy. I mean, when I graduated, I probably weighed 285 or so, size 52. And I went ahead and enlisted in the National Guard because I thought, well, if I don't like it, it's only 2 weeks in the summer and 1 week in a month kind of thing. And in basic training, I found that if I focus and if I put all my energy into, you know, my goal was to graduate, and I was able to lose 90 pounds in 10 weeks. Don't know why. I've never been able to diet like that before, but I was able to do it, and it changed my life.
That's amazing. 90 pounds in 10 weeks.
Yeah. And one of the reasons I think I'm diabetic now was because that was what I call the drill sergeant diet. When they get in your face and they go, boy, you better quit eating, you kind of take it to heart, you know. I mean, I lived on a box of dry cornflakes in the morning with water, a dry salad for lunch, and then at dinner they told me I could eat a piece of meat and have a dry salad. So that's what I lived on for 10 weeks. I went from a size 52 down to a 38 in 10 weeks.
Wow.
And, you know, but I look back on it now and I go, wow, I just by focusing and putting my heart and soul into this dream, it came true. And it just led me all over the world. It led me to so many adventures. I've lived on a little Pacific island for a couple of years, Kwajalein Atoll. Used to go snorkeling every day. But I mean, I've lived in Europe as a soldier and then as a civilian. And I've been to a lot of countries in Europe. I mean, one of my favorite cities in the world is Prague. I love Prague. Every minute I was there. Got to see Mozart's Don Giovanni performed in the original opera house it was performed in back in like 1820 or whatever. And those kind of experiences just kind of opened up my mind a little bit. So anyway, that's enough about me. I just want to say that I totally agree with Greg. You know, I've always tried to make things happen, but I've realized now that if I just kind of, okay, put the thought out there and then let it go. Don't worry about the outcome. Just say, this is what I would like. Thank you, and let it go. It happens.
It did happen. Let me tell you.
It's amazing.
After I had my 2 children, I was very heavy because I would older. I was 37, 38. I had 2 children back to back. I was not a little chunky back then, but I ended up gaining like another 35 pounds. And you're a little older, so it's hard to lose that weight. And I said I wanted to lose weight without working at it. And I ended up with gallbladder disease like a year and a half later. My son is 3.5, so I got sick when he was 6 months. I lost my gallbladder. I still have digestive issues. They're more controlled now. I'm seeing a GI, but I manifested that without even knowing. Like, I caught it into the universe, and the universe is like, okay, you want to lose weight? Here you go. So be careful how you ask.
Yeah.
Be careful what you ask for,
The
really.
universe doesn't care.
That's why you got to keep your
That's
energy
why they
high.
say be careful what you wish for. One of the things, like, everybody, I just always been a people person, like, ever since I was young. Like, now I've been seeing things, like, I can see, and all 3 of my children are empathic. And I have a friend who's a medium, the one that I met online, and she's connected me with some people socially that are I think going to help me get to where I want to get to for my future endeavors. So, and I'm meeting people along the way. I've been meeting other people through other channels, because now the world, I call it modern day pen paling, is social media. That's how I can best describe it. It's like how we used to pen pal back in the days. It's like modern day pen paling. And now with the access of live videos, like, you can really get your messages across to people. So I don't know, it's just such a great experience being able to talk to people and there's so many wonderful people just like us. Like, I'm always happy and positive. Like, everybody thinks I'm so happy and positive all the time, which is great. So I have this thought, and my thought is like, if you can describe 2 songs, because I also have to agree with you, Gary. I have always loved music. Music to me is the world. I listen to it from the moment I get into my car. I get out of my car, I have a 10-minute walk to work. So I put on my headphones, and I have purchased, I don't know how many songs on iTunes. I have like over 1,500 songs. Yeah, I go on little rampages, like, okay, I got paid today. Let me spend $20 on iTunes and get 10, 15 songs. So I'm constantly adding to my list. And every time I wake up and I'm like, okay, what do I feel like? And just music, it just makes everybody happy, loving. So if you had 2 songs to describe, how does the world see you and how do you see yourself? I would have to say the external song that everybody would see me as, You're Walking on Sunshine. So one by Katrina and the Waves. Sometimes you upset people because you come in, it's in the morning, you're like, good morning, everyone. And they're like, it's so early, like, calm down. But I can't help it, So that's how I feel. Like, I'm always giving this positive vibe. And whenever anyone has a problem, I just tell them, look at it from this perspective. Look at the big picture. Like, don't look at it from this, way. Like, on I think it was Monday. It was the first day back from school vacation. So I go to work. I thought I took the keys out of the ignition. I put my headphones on. I shut the door, and I went to work. And I'm about to leave work, and I can't find my keys. So I start freaking out. So they did break into my car one time, about 6 months ago. So I start thinking, oh, did I drop my keys? I remember grabbing them. I went to work for 8.5 hours, almost 9 hours. I'm having a panic attack on my way to the car. I could see my car as I'm approaching it. So I'm about 3 vehicles away, and I hear my engine is on. But I have a quiet engine. I have a Kia, so it wasn't loud. And I think to myself, oh, my guardian angels are with me. God was protecting me. Like, someone could have come and stolen my car, full tank of gas, keys in the ignition, the car's unlocked. Like, they could have had fun. So I told my dad what happened, and he's like, somebody's protecting you. And my dad always says, how are you so lucky? Like, how are you so lucky? And then my brother is the opposite. He thinks the world is out to get him, and he has like the worst luck. Like, everything bad can happen to him. He was just here. He just left yesterday, and I told him, you have to turn your positivity around. You have to see things. You're blessed. You're so blessed. Like you have to see it from a positive perspective, and maybe your luck will change. Like he was snapping for everything, and so he promised me he's gonna do better with turning that around. But our conversation went. I told him I feel like sometimes people think I'm naive and they take advantage of me, but that's okay. I don't want to change who I am because that's who I am. And my brother says, well, I feel like the world's out to get me. So it's like we're like night and day, you know? But I'm hoping that my influence this week will help him turn himself around,
You know, there's a saying, I don't know who said it, but it's so appropriate. And it kind of goes into with surrendering as well. And the saying goes, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right.
Henry Ford.
Is that who said it?
He said, I think he said, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, either way, you're right.
True.
And that's so true. And getting back to music, I mean, you know, it is the universal language. I mean, you know, even still, Steven Spielberg picked up on that with E.T., you know, do, 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 do kind of thing, you know, the tones. When you think about it, music is really, it's frequency and vibration. That's what music is. Yeah. Well, according to what a lot of quantum physicists tell us, the universe is composed of frequency and vibration. I mean, for me, I just recently went and saw a band that I have been wanting to see for 10 years. And I just finally went and did it. And I was sitting there thinking about, you know, Greg talking about the solar plexus, this band, it was in a small venue. And it was to the point where I could actually feel the bass and the drum beat resonating from my solar plexus to my backbone and back.
Wow.
And I could feel that. And it just made me feel so alive. And eventually, I mean, I had to leave when they took their break because I was just getting overstimulated. I stumbled out of the bar and everybody thought I was drunk. But what it was I was just being bombarded by the frequency and the vibration, and everybody there was just into the music. Everybody was like moving and dancing. And, you know, I used to be one of these people that like, oh, I don't dance because I look like a fool. But now I dance all the time. I still look like a fool, but I don't care because, you know, what other people think about me doesn't bother me at all now, you know?
You hit it on the head too about the frequency and vibrations. If we were to remove these meat suits that we have, we would still recognize each other by our energy signatures, which is composed of energy and vibration. And that's exactly what music is. We would be basically our own songs, our own unique songs to one another. And it really boils down to, you know, the day, hour, minute, second that you were born, where you were born geographically. Nobody can have the same exact energy signature as you. You could be one of octuplets, you know, 7 other brothers and sisters all born on the same day, but they all have different energy signatures because they were born at different times. So that's what we all have. And that's where we're heading right now with once we become these light bodies and energy signatures, and with everybody that's tuning in right now, whether they're on YouTube and not even joining us, and we have no idea what they look like, their energy signature is still with us, joined together in the aethers with us here. We will recognize everyone that is here joining us right now and watching it on the recorded version. When they connect with us, we connect with them.
That is awesome. And one of the other things I read is like, you know, when you come in contact with someone and you just vibe and you're like, wow, this person's like awesome. Like, we have so many things. That just recently happened. They sent us to a leadership course for 5 months, and I had a partner. And I like the astrological thing. So we started talking. She was a couple months older than me. Not a couple months, but like less than a year. So her birthday just passed. And she was a fire sign. I'm an Aries and she was a Sagittarius. So I was like, no wonder we got along. But she was into the beads like I was. And I'd come to class and she's like, that's a new bracelet, isn't it? And I'm like, yeah, that's a new, you know, earrings. And she's like, yeah, this is this stone. And I'm like, oh, and this is this stone. And it's like a soul group, you know, soul brothers and sisters. Like, you don't find that with everyone, you know?
Yeah, and that's what we're putting together here. Like, not just a soul family, a soul group. on N5D, bringing, well, soul family together. And this is why I'm doing what I do. I totally dig this, getting everybody together, placing the face with the voice, what we're doing right now, you know, with everybody that joins in. I can't thank you guys enough, and encourage other people to join in. This is soul family. You're missing out on it if you're not joining in.
I totally agree. And I thank you so much for what you're doing to bring us all together, Greg. I mean, you know, you have been a big part of my spiritual awakening, you know, just pointing out to the articles and the things that I've read, you know, the things that you're pointing out and the things that you're, you know, saying. And I know spirit is moving you to say those things, you know, and just now I'm starting to realize spirit is moving me. I need to get out there and I need to just start speaking my truth, you know. And I used to think I didn't want to stay where I am. I wanted to travel because I've always loved traveling. But now I got an idea that maybe I'm meant to be here to help some other people around here kind of, you know, get an idea of what maybe we should really be focusing on instead of, you know, whether or not Alabama or Auburn won this year, you know, even though the bad guys won this year, darn it.
The Kansas City Chiefs will win the Super Bowl. With me being a Chiefs fan.
Oh, well.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't really matter. On YouTube, T-Light saying, "Hi, you feel me?" Because I put it out there, you know, that, you know, if you're watching, and we will feel you. Yes, we feel you. We feel you. Definitely.
I mean, I don't feel like I'm sitting in my apartment alone right now. I feel like I'm surrounded by my family. So
yes. Well, that's what it is. We are all these points of light. And if you were to light up a candle all throughout the planet, we would just make the whole planet glow with so many points of light that are out there that
That's something that I always say, like, when, you know, you come into contact with people and some people are a little bit negative and you know, being that I always have to be positive, I'm like, you know, we live in a dark world, and the best way to describe it is that I'm a light shining as bright as I can so that I can help others find the way.
So I see we have other people here. Does anyone else want to jump in? I see Diamond Light was here. Diamond Light's mic was unmuted. So would you like to jump in? Anyone else? Just want to make sure that we got everybody here that's joining in that wants to talk.
Well, I got to tell you, I watched these things for probably 6 to 8 months before I finally got the nerve to actually try to talk. So now that I'm talking, you can't get me to shut up.
No. I encourage people to talk, honestly. So yeah, if you haven't chimed in yet, definitely you're more than welcome to join us at any time.
Greg?
Yes,
Hi.
Mary.
It's Marianne. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, I had regarding the energies that have been abundant. I had a question. A phenomenon that's been happening to me for about the last 4 to 6 weeks. I'm curious to know if it's happening to anybody else. It's kind of like if I'm going from one room, for example, if I go from the living room to the kitchen, I get to the kitchen and I feel like I'm still catching up to myself in the kitchen. I don't know how to describe it. It's not like dizziness or vertigo. It's like I'm catching up to myself, like I'm moving at a different speed. I don't even know how
totally
to
get
use
it.
the words.
Yeah. I totally get what you're going through. You're basically living ahead of yourself, and one part of you is catching up. It's almost like it's slightly behind you. Your cognizant part is behind that part of you that's already ahead in the future right now.
Yes, that's exactly it. So that's not on other people. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing.
So you're asking if other people are feeling that?
Yes.
Yeah, let's put it out there. I can understand exactly what you're saying. When you were explaining it, I could definitely feel that. And there's been times where I felt like I've gone in and out of worlds, but not specifically like that.
Hurry up.
And what you're experiencing is almost similar to deja vu, but yet, a few seconds ahead of when it happens. So it's a conglomeration of so many different things going on at the same time. I'm looking at YouTube right now, and I don't see if I don't see anyone saying anything there, but I guarantee we're going to see comments on YouTube of other people experiencing what you've experienced. And that's why it's important for us to talk about these things, to put it out there, because I guarantee there's other people that are experiencing whatever it is that you are going through, that you, the listener right now, are going through. Put it out there. Let other people know. Other
Yeah.
people,
I've had the same
listen.
thing happen to me, Greg. I've
There you
kind of
go.
felt like I'm out of sync sometimes, you know, and I think it's just my vibrational energy is changing. I know I'm transitioning to a higher vibration because I'm really not focused on me anymore. I'm focused on, let's see what we can all do to help each other out, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's important. Once again, like what Mary was saying, she's putting it out there and you're putting it out there too. It's a little bit different though, what you're experiencing versus what Mary's experiencing though.
It's freaking me out
Yes, it
sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I find myself drawn to certain places now that, you know, I didn't really spend a lot of time in before, but now when I look at them, I see, you know what, this is really a cool environment. What a beautiful tree that kind of stuff, you know, and it's like, I feel like I'm just following a trail of breadcrumbs, and I'm finally going to find my way home. When I get to the end, I'm going to be home, you know, and I just know that. It's just awesome.
So what Mary's doing almost seems like a version of time travel.
Yeah.
If she can learn how to extend it maybe a little, instead of a few seconds, maybe a few minutes and maybe an hour, and see into the future. God, you can tell us what the winning lottery numbers are. We can all
You
live
think
in,
I would
well,
tell you?
yeah, I do. After you had one yourself, yes.
And I just want to throw in a little anonymous tidbit, but do you realize that everything that occurred in the Back to the Future trilogy has already happened now? I mean, we're ahead of where they were when they had the flying cars and
didn't they go into time to 2015 or something like that?
Yeah,
on the computer. Yeah,
like 2015, where he went to, that was the future where everybody was on hoverboards and the Cubs win. And oh, by the way, wasn't that long ago, the Cubs win the World Series, you know?
Yep.
Good point.
That's funny.
Oh, and there was another thing that came out in the movie that happens in reality. I don't know if it was Arnold Schwarzenegger when he became or something. There was another thing that they referenced that happened in the Back to the Future movie. I want to say it might have been part 1 or part 2 that happened in reality.
And then there's music.
Well, one thing that actually happened that they forecast that was so funny, because like the Cubs had not won the World Series since 1906, right? When supposedly the goat curse happened, where a guy brought a goat into the stadium and somehow the Cubbies got cursed. Well, if you remember back just a few years ago, before 2015, I think it was back in 2012. I'm not really sure now, but the Cubs did win the World Series. And, you know, when the movie came out, that was ridiculous, but it actually happened. So there you go.
Yeah, it seems like we've already written this, then, is what basically the message is. Everything has already been played out. We already know how this is going to end. We win. And there is that solar flash, that light that just comes to us that fills the planet. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I felt it. It's freaking amazing. And I've explained it so many times, but I feel that when I keep explaining it, it gives people that opportunity to envision that and feel that for themselves. It feels like to imagine the person that you love the most on this whole planet, you know, your parents, your family. My daughter would be the first thing that comes to my mind. Imagine that love and then magnify that 1,000,000 times. And I'm underestimating that kind of love that you're going to feel when that white light floods the planet. That's the kind of love, unconditional love, that everyone will feel. And it's so frigging amazing. So envision that, bring it to you. When you do you're placing your thoughts and intentions out there, when you're trying to create and manifest, that earth that you want to be part of. Bring it to you. Imagine that thing, that person that you love so much. Imagine, multiply that. Try to envision what a million times more would be like of love. Bring that to you. Bring that to us. Bring that to the planet. See the whole planet just being engulfed in love. And if you can, hug the planet. See yourself hugging the planet and sending that love all throughout the planet. That's love right there.
Thank you.
So, is there anything else that anybody would like to talk about before we sign off? Somebody on YouTube is saying something very strange has been happening with the Schumann resonance all week, especially right at the moment. There's a rainbow stripe down the screen. Okay, we're going to go check that out here. So bear with me.
Yes. That's another thing. The Schumann resonance. Yeah, it's
So you can go right here on
the one I joined in after. The one before that was about the Schumann resonance and just basically going completely white and high energy for like an entire 2 or 3 days.
17 hours. Yeah. There was a 17-hour gap. Oh, here's what she was talking about right here. Wow, check that out.
That is cool.
Let's see if we can get that a little bit bigger. Yeah, right there.
Wow.
So I'm going to be covering this on my In5D Patreon channel for subscribers of $11.99 or $11.11 or more on the mid-month energy report. Of course, I will put out an abbreviated version here on YouTube as well, but there was a 17-hour blackout earlier, and there's something that's strange that people are picking up on. And if you can see right here, this line right here is the baseline of the Schumann resonance for the Earth, which is 7.83, I believe. And what we're seeing now are different lines coming up here. Here's another one, which is almost doubled at that point at 16. We're seeing another line going across here at 20. And we had seen earlier, a few days ago, back over here somewhere, these lines that are starting way on the bottom. Now, this is a complete anomaly. And I want to thank Shauna Marie for bringing this up to us here on Zoom and YouTube about this anomaly. This is something I've never seen before. This is really quite fascinating to see this rainbow stripe. And I wonder if this has something to do with these energies that are coming in. The beginning of these energies that are coming in. They just came in. If you look at the time,
I believe so, Greg. I mean,
they just came in about an hour ago. Well, they came in when we started this, basically.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're actually changing things. Woohoo!
It's so cool. So yeah.
I mean, actually, if you according to NASA, it's not just the Earth that's undergoing radical climate changes. It's every planet in the solar system. In other words, the big red spot on Venus is now the big gray spot. That kind of thing has been going on for the last several years. And it's something that, unless you happen to follow scientific stuff, you don't really pick up on that. But we are undergoing climate change. It's what's happened. It's a cycle. It's always been a cycle. 20,000 years ago, America was under half-mile sheet of ice. Well, and now it seems that every planet in the solar system, including like Saturn, Venus, Mars, are undergoing what are considered to be pretty radical climate changes. So it's not just affecting us, it's affecting everything.
Definitely. There's an article on In5D that basically outlines everything that each one of those planets are going through. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find it right now, but
I knew I saw that somewhere.
Yes. But yeah, it shows everything that's going on, and it's wild. So it's not just here. And what's happening is this energy is coming in, raising the vibration of our entire solar system. So it's not just central to us here on this planet. It's everyone, definitely. Here's an article that is similar. It's not the one I was looking for, and I'll put it on screen share. But it's an article, the solar system is moving into a new area of vibration.
Yeah, because everybody thought the Mayan calendar was about a catastrophe, but what it's actually about is that we've just completed a huge cycle that happens like every 12,000 or something years, and we're moving into a very high energy part of the universe. I mean, we're headed toward the galactic center more than we have been ever before, and in 12,500 years, I think is what the cycle is, and when you add all these things up, it's just too much to be coincidence. I think it's a plan. There's a plan, and everything's happening according and unfolding to the plan. And I think we're tuning into that.
There's another article that I'm looking for too, and it's really fascinating because it's about this 70-year prophecy where all the stuff that was mentioned over 70 years ago now is coming to fruition right now. It's really quite fascinating that this guy, Peter Junov,
I read that article about the 70-year-old prophet coming through, and it's like, I mean, one of the guys that I really got attuned to when I was young was Edgar Casey, the sleeping prophet, and some of the things he said are starting to happen, and things that he predicted back in the 30s and the 20s are starting to happen. And oh, by the way, he was probably one of the early pioneers of energetic healing. He could heal people from a distance just by using his power of consciousness. Anyway, that's what I've heard.
This guy, Peter Dunyev, said the Earth will soon be swept by extraordinary rapid waves of cosmic electricity. That's pretty exciting. So, yeah, I did an addendum here too, and I did a lot about what he said and related it to everything that's going on now about the cosmic fire and stuff like that. And we're heading into this system right now, and I think it has a lot to do with the photon belt, us entering the photon belt, and we're seeing the whoops, hang on, I just gotta mute. Oh, where's that coming from? Lots of.
I don't know why it comes up Mike's phone. My phone, it shows the name on it.
Oh, okay, it was right there. Okay, but yeah, we're entering. Sorry about that, everybody. I just had outside noise coming in from somebody else, and the microphone wasn't muted. But I think what he was talking about was that energy of system that we're heading into was the photon belt. We saw the sun start to change colors, probably beginning in the late 1980s, early 1990s, from when it went from yellow to the current white that it is right now. So we're seeing these energetic changes happening, and it's affecting not only our planet but all throughout the universe and galaxy. So let's see if there's anything else. Okay, Sean is saying Diamond Light needs to mute herself. I just muted her. Quartz Quantum is saying on YouTube, perhaps what I experienced yesterday was particles coming in from the photon belt. It's possible, definitely possible. So then that's a constant energy influx from the photon belt. That's a 2,000-year cycle of what we're going through. It takes approximately 2,000 years to go through the photon belt. We just barely entered it. This is the tip of the iceberg. And so we're getting this energy from the photon belt. We have energy coming from the sun, energy from the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Betelgeuse is about to go supernova. That was one of my predictions on New Year's Eve, that it would actually go supernova this year. One of my many predictions. If you didn't check that out, check it out, the New Year's Eve video. But we have all these energies that are coming in right now, and it's making a huge difference. It's going to create turbulence for those who are not prepared. You guys are going to be the conduits of sanity, basically, because a lot of your friends and family that are not awoken, you're the ones that are going to have to go to them and explain what's going on, help ground them as well. There are going to be people, though, that you just have to release. You can only do so much. You can't force your beliefs on anyone. You know, as with everything that we know, we can only basically light their candle for them and hope they maintain the flame. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of, you know, the best analogy I could come up with, that we can't help everyone, but you know, we are here for each other, and that's so important right now, because we are all going through a lot of turbulence. You know, myself having the heart attack last year, which helped lead me to where I am now, for better health and better diet. In the end, it was a blessing. So expect turbulence, and it's not going to be easy as we make it through all this, but we will get through it. It's not going to be it's not going to be horrendous. It's going to be something that is going to be amazing. And as I made that prediction beforehand about,
I just washed towels today.
whoops, hang on, somebody's on live here.
Otherwise, I don't know if you need more extra towels. I got one here and I got one here.
There, I just had to mute everyone. And if you want to jump in, you can unmute yourself at any time. Forgot where I was going on that, though. Sorry, I got distracted. And Sean is saying, yep, Diamond Light is loud again. Yep, I unmuted the room, but yeah, so I had to mute her again. Forgot where I was going on that. Sorry, I got distracted. ADD got up to me.
But it was something about the energies coming in, and we're all we're here for each other.
Oh yeah, that's right. And that's why this is so important, this forum that I'm putting out here on YouTube. And I plan on doing this a lot coming up. Hopefully at least several times a week, maybe 2-3 times or more per week, just getting out there. Unfortunately, I don't have a way of notifying people on YouTube ahead of this. The way Zoom works, I just go on and it automatically hooks up with YouTube. But I can tell people a little ahead of time, which I try to do on Facebook, that I'll be going live, and you guys can catch up on me there. So if you're not following, follow me on Facebook, whether it's me, Greg Prescott. I have a fan page, or the N5D page. I'll put notifications on each one of those. Getting back to that Schumann, I'm finding this really cool. Hang on. Let's see. Let's refresh that and just see if anything's going on there. Yep, it's
continuing.
Yes, it is. I don't know what to make of this.
I really think the big event that we've all heard about, it might be happening, you know, any minute now, really.
What's interesting is it's almost everything is upside down and reverse. If you look at the top part here, it's down here, and then you see the yellow here, which is up here. And
well, I mean, one of the predictions you made, I think, is something I've heard a lot too, is that the magnetic poles are going to reverse. What used to be the North Pole will become the South Pole. And maybe that's what's happening. Who knows, you know? Wouldn't that be awesome?
Everything in this world is upside down and backwards, you know, so that, yeah, who knows?
Guys, I have to go. but I want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. I look forward to talking to you guys in the future. Thank you for your insight and all your info, Greg. And it was nice talking to you, Gary, and everyone else. And
Well,
we'll definitely chat again another time.
yes, and lots of love and light to you, okay?
Yes, and
Likewise.
You take care of you.
Likewise,
Remember,
love and light.
self-care right now. I think that's the
Yes.
key. Myself, that's what I think. Who knows?
And
Yeah.
one thing you said that I've been resonating with is own your and know your truth. And that's what I'm searching. So thank you again. Namaste.
Namaste.
Good night, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so
Namaste.
much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night. Got to take care of that young one.
Yes. I know what that's like. Here it is, 8:37, almost 9 o'clock, probably time for bed, all that good stuff. It seems like yesterday that I was doing that with my daughter, and my daughter's now 25.
But in your eyes, she's always going to be your baby. That's just
Always.
the way it is with parents,
Always. Just like I'm my parents' baby. I was the youngest in our family. I'm still
Me too.
my parents' baby. Yep.
When
Almost
I-
60.
When I came home in the Army in uniform and my mom referred to me as her baby, I kind of got, oh, Mom, please, not now, I'm grown up.
So
But that's a mom,
This is interesting. I want to share this. On YouTube, Shauna Marie is saying, I've had heart palpitations all week long due to the Schumann resonance. I'm sensitive to the energies like you. And yes, Shauna, I felt that too in my heart. And I kept thinking, okay, gosh, I hope this isn't, it's not coming back again with that heart attack that I had. But it didn't feel like that. It was a different kind of feeling that I had in that heart area. And then she goes on to say, the only reason I checked the Schumann resonance because I started feeling the energies. So, and a lot of people are going to be feeling that, and they're going to be picking it up one way or the other through, maybe your crown chakra might start to tingle or light up. You might have those palpitations. You might feel a warmness throughout your body. Everyone will probably have different ways of feeling it, but many similar ways as well. So thank you, Shauna Marie, for bringing that up. I'm really excited about this. I can't wait to see how this plays out. And see how long it goes too. As I mentioned, we had that 17-hour blackout recently. I think it was on January 3rd, 17 hours. The 17th letter is Q, the Great Awakening. 1 + 1 = 2. Be interesting to see if this goes 17 hours or what happens after that. But I guess we'll find out in the end. Susan is saying on YouTube that there's fluttering near the heart chakra too. So pay attention to what you're feeling. These next few days it's going to keep increasing. Whatever you've been feeling up until now, it's going to increase. And as I mentioned, it's more important now than ever to get that grounding in. Make sure you find a way to ground. And if you can't physically go outside, find a good grounding stone. Eat grounding food. Take a bath with bath salts and incense, maybe a couple candles around the bathtub. Find a way to ground within your home as well. If you can't get out. I know the weather's not conducive for a lot of people to get out there and ground. So there are ways you can ground within the house. There's an article on M5D. I'll leave a link below in the more info section on YouTube of an article by Matthew John, 25 Ways to Get Grounded as well. So check that out. And I think I'm going to leave it off at that. I want to thank everybody for joining me here in Zoom as well as on YouTube and watching this on the recorded version on YouTube and or Facebook or whatever social media it may be appearing on. We're all in this together, and I encourage everybody to join in here on Zoom whenever you have the opportunity. This is what it's all about, creating family. We're bringing family, star family together right here on N5D and through Zoom and through YouTube. So put on your seatbelts. It could get a little turbulent. It's going to be really exciting, and there's really nothing to fear. So just go with the flow, stay grounded, and everything will be okay. Remember to plant those seeds too during the lunar eclipse of what you want to see and manifest in the future. So until the next time, I'm sending everyone infinite love and light. This is Greg from N5D.com. Namaste.